This is the Shrimp Trawler Video Channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1981-84 National League Major League Baseball Players Association Tournament Championship is what we call this, as we are in a lockout and we are in the National League side of things. We have 4 teams traveling to Chicago on their own dime. We have the team Colorado. You know, we can't use the owners are preventing these players from using their logos and stuff, trademarks, naturally, as it's a bitter fight between players and owners. So Colorado plays Team St. Louis. Winner of this plays the other New York team called the Queens of New York. And then the winner of that plays the team out in San Francisco. So with that, let's get you right away into game number 1. Colorado, winners of the, or I guess, yeah, they're winners of the division. The lockout occurred on the final day of the baseball season. Colorado was in first place. St. Louis was in first place. The number 4 and number 3 seeds in the National League playing the day. And for the Colorado team, their pitcher is Dan Petrie. Dan had a fine career with Detroit. He actually won a World Series ring in '84 with them, with this card. 18-game winner, a 3.24 ERA in 233 innings. And the Cardinals decided they would go to the number 2 starter today, a gentleman named John Martin, who had a very nice 1981, 8-5 with a 3.41 ERA in 103 innings. The theory being Colorado is much better versus righties than lefties. So they decided to go with a lefty today and save Bob Forsch and Bruce Keeson and Bruce Hurst for future games, if there is such a thing. You also notice, folks, as a change from what you saw yesterday, we're in Wrigley Field now. The National League side of things is, again, all these 8 clubs converging on Chicago any way they knew how. Hitchhike, a bus, their car, plane, automobile, they're on their own dollar. And all 8 teams found hotel space and sleeping on guys' sofas and such, just to play a little tournament to see who is the best team, because the owners shut them out otherwise. So with that, let's get started. Leading off for Team Colorado, it is Steve Kemp. 2-5, triple, 1-12. It's a triple for Steve Kemp to start the game. One of his 4 in '81. Bobby Clark, 2-2. Lefty question mark. You want to tag up Kemp. He's a 12, 13, 14 against the Ritas arm. Ritas has a -2 arm, -1 arm. He's going to run on the 13, and he scores. Very aggressive. Gary Renicky walks. Don Money, 68, double 1-9 off Martin, gets it. You want to run Renicky? Well, if you ran the other guy, you should run this guy. It's a better chance. He scores. The flying Coloradoians. The Rockers. The Colorado Rockers. You can call them. That sounds good. 2-0. Runner at second. 1 out. Terry Kennedy. 1-8, double 1-14. What'd you say about lefties? They don't hit lefties very well. They seem fine to me. 3-0. Greg Pryor. 3-10. Base hit center field. You want to run Terry Kennedy? No. That's getting a little silly. He's an 8. Not going to run the 8 guy. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Dan Meyer. 43, left X. Reed is a 3-10 in left field. He cannot make a play. It's a double. Not a particularly long drive from St. Louis to Chicago, yet the Cardinals might want to... oh, I shouldn't have said that. You heard what I said? I said the name of a red bird. I'm supposed to do that. The St. Louis team has had a regrettable trip here thus far. Second and third, Rick Monday. 4-4, center X. You got McGee in center field. He's a 2. It's a sac fly to center. It's now 5-0 with 2 outs. They bat around. Johnny LeMaster flies to center. So we have had maybe one competitive game thus far in this. So it's obvious some teams want to win it. The other teams are just doing it as a courtesy to their fans. And by a competitive game, Team New York beat Team Kansas City 7-1. That's the 6-run deficit. That's the closest we've been. Here we got a 5-0 game. You know, the owners are probably laughing about this. This is like getting people to shut their TV sets off unless you live in Colorado or New York, I guess. Ken Obergefell leads off. 2-8, grounds at first. Tom Herr, 36 is a walk. Keith Hernandez, 35, another walk. Sixto Lezcano, 32, pops out. And with 2 outs, Dane Orge, 66. Base hit left field. You're going to run Herr down 5. 12, 13, 14, 15. Got to get on the board. He scores. Hernandez ends up at third. 5-1, 2 outs. Gary Redus, 45, flies to center. Top of the second. It'll be Kemp again, 38. He walks. Boobie Clark, 310, flies left. Gary Renicky, the Rhino, 39 walks. 2 on, 1 out for Don Money. 3-5 Ks, and with 2 outs. Terry Kennedy, 59. 59, triple 1-9 off the Martin card. Whoops! 2 out, 2-run triple, and I guess the decision to start John Martin is not paying out very well, folks. He has been horrible. Greg Pryor, 3-6. There's an RBI double, 1-12 double. And with 2 outs, still, Dan Meyer. First X, Hernandez surely can make a play at first. He does. 8-1. It's getting ugly here. The owners are just loving this one-sidedness of this thing and the general lack of popularity of this. William McGee, 39, lines is short. I'm losing subscribers by the moment, even as you folks out there are watching, from the lousy product put on the field in this little tournament the players are trying to do. This is why the owners need the players and the players need the owners to spice the game up. Because right now, this is a black eye for the sport. Ozzie Smith, 1-9 single. Double-A Steeler would mostly take off, but you got a -2 arm catcher and you're down 7, so I don't think so. Orlando Sanchez, 55. Triple 1-2. It's single. They're on the corners now for Ken Obergefell. 57's a K. And with 2 outs, Tommy Herr, another K. We go to the third. Rick Monday, 2-4. Grounds the third. LeMaster, 56. Flies to right. Steve Kemp, 2-5. Again, he hits it. Triple 1-12. He gets it again. 2 triples in 3 innings for Steve Kemp. Boobie Clark, 5-12. Rolls back to the mound. Bottom of the third. Hernandez, 2-8 singles. Lezcano, 38 walks. St. Louis has to get something here. Dane Orge, 4-10, pops to second. Gary Redus, 2-9, here we go. Double 1-4, RBI single. We got an 8-2 game. Runners in the corners, 1 out. They're going to play back and hold the big lead. 2-7, single dot. 8-3. First and second, 1 out. Ozzie Smith, 68, flies to center. Orlando Sanchez, 48's a K. Martin, we'll give him another inning. The 4th, his last inning was okay. Maybe he'll continue. Gary Renicky, short lease though, 58. Oh, again, he hit the card. Triple 1 of 3. Base hit. Don Money, 610. Catcher's X. Sanchez, oh boy, he's a 40-16, but he gets a pass ball. Terry Kennedy, 66, flies to right. And with 2 outs, Greg Pryor, 37's a strikeout. Bottom of the 4th, Ken Oberkfell, 36 is a walk. Tommy Herr, 68, flies to right. Keith Hernandez, 1-7's a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Lezcano, 212. Ground ball. No, that's a base hit. You're holding, what's his name? 2 on, 2 outs for Dane Orge. 37, he flies to right field. Well, folks, I'm going to say it. I'm just really apoplectic about all of this. I was really hoping St. Louis, really rooting for these guys, winners of the 1982 World Series, to have some sunshine in their lives, but another grim day in history of the franchise. Down 8-3 to a Colorado team that frankly didn't even exist in this timeline. We go to the 5th inning. Dan Meyer, 67, lines out. Rick Monday, 49, single 1 of 7. He can't get it. That's good for Martin. And LeMaster, 67, pops to 3rd. I think... Well, actually, okay. First, we'll get to the bottom of the 5th inning. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right. Bottom of the 5th. I was going to say Martin will probably just face Kemp in the next inning as a lefty-lefty. Even though he's reached 3 times, Kemp's not very good against lefties. Go figure that one out. And then they'll flip to a different pitcher. Let's see if they can get something going against Petrie. Petrie was a winner for the Tigers in '84, though he didn't necessarily shut teams down. Had a mid-3 earned run average. It's Gary Reedus leading off. 3.7 Ks. Willie McGee, 2.9. Grounds the first. And Ozzie Smith, 5.10. Catcher's X. Kennedy's a 3E3. And the inning's over. By the way, since we are playing in Wrigley Field, there's a lot of Chicago Cubs fans here for the free baseball, and they're loving seeing the Cardinals be considered the home team in Wrigley and getting their what handed to them. So there's some happy Chicagoans at the game today. All right, Martin will face Kemp, and then we'll see a new hurler. Steve Kemp reaches for the 4th time with a walk. 2 triples and 2 walks, and he doesn't even hit lefties very well. Martin leaves after 5 and a batter. The Cardinals will go to... We'll go to Jeff Lottie in the 6th. Jeff, on the 83 Cardinals, was 3-3 with a 3.16 ERA in 74 innings. Lottie in the 6th will face Bobby Clark. 46, double 1 to 15 is a double. And here comes Colorado wanting some more. Gary Renicky, 67, pops to first. Don Money, 45, double 1 to 15 is another double. And that will score 2 more runs. You know, if you're looking for an outlier to win a championship, this is probably the easiest way for it to happen. You only got to win a game and win like 3, 4 in a row. That's not hard to do. And you could be called the champion of something. Might as well pull the names out of a hat. You either show up or you don't. And apparently Colorado wants this rare opportunity to potentially win the whole thing. That's right, Colorado has won nothing in this. And now you got a scenario where they can win something. Moreover, and maybe even more importantly, if you win the championship, the whole thing, you do get a 3rd round comp pick in the draft. So there is something to play for in the final game. That comp pick could really help an expansion team otherwise. And they get to have the attraction of calling themselves champions, even though, you know, the rest of the league kind of sniffs at that. Terry Kennedy, 3.10. The bloodletting does not go any further. East Guy's the center, and Greg Pryor. Lines out. It's a 10-3 game. We'll just keep you getting through these as quickly as I can, folks. Orlando Sanchez, 1-5, triple 1 to 16. As soon as I want to get the game over with, the team who's down by 1 million starts getting hits. Ken Oberkfell, 310, center B question mark. Do you want to run your lousy running catcher down 7? No. Tommy Herr, 2-4, center. And Keith Hernandez, he strikes out. We go to the 7th. Dan Meyer, 1-6, double 1 to 3, base hit. Rick Monday, 2-5. Let's take a look at the Rick Blue Monday card of 1981. Blue Monday, Montreal, LA, 1981 playoff game, extra inning homer for Rick Monday. Let's not forget what a monster year this Monday card is. 11 homers and 130 at-bats with a .315 average. Absolutely destroys this baseball, and it is 12-3. And I'm just going to say right now, folks, that hotel that Chicago that the Cardinals were put up in St. Louis had some bad room service, as the Cardinals have been absolutely trashed today, 12-3. Let's get Lottie out of here. He's gone an inning and 2 batters. Let's go to John Uria now in the 7th. Uria was a Padre in 81, used to pitch for the Cardinals, 2-2, 239 ERA in 49 innings. The other thing is, St. Louis in 81 had the second best record in the National League. Cincinnati's already gone, so now that's all dashed. So theoretically, the 2 best teams in the National League in 81 are still not finding any redemption in this whole tournament scenario. LeMaster, 69, lines the first. Steve Kemp, 310 Ks. Bobby Clark, 2-8 Ks. Another lame-o game here in Chicago for the MLB Championship tourney. 12-3 Colorado. It is 7th inning stretch time. We're continuing this wonderful playlist, the 1981 year. All sorts of material. Yeah, okay, whatever. Werewolves of London by the Gone Too Soon Warren Zevon. This mix has the Stones in it. We got Al Stewart. We got Gary Newman. We have Hall & Oates. We got Billy Idol, Stevie Nicks, Flock of Seagulls, Golden Earring, Billy Squire, Gary Wright, Santana's in here. You know, The Police. You got Queens in here. Let's throw this one down. Here we go. Let's get some rally music going for the for our friends in Chicago, St. Louis, who have come here to Chicago, watch their team get hammered. Dan Petrie will continue in the 7th, up 9. It's 6 to Lezcano. He strikes out. Dane Orge, singles. Gary Redis, 2-3. Fielder's choice. Willie McGee, 42. Comebacker to the mound. 12-3 in the 8th. It's Gary Renicky. 58, Short X. And now the rally music favors Colorado. As the Cardinals are certainly going to bite the dust in this one. Don Money, 69, lines the first. Terry Kennedy, 39, grounds the second. Bottom of the 8th. We're just going to rush right through this if we can, as we have 3 more games coming. Third X. 4-18 makes the play. Orlando Sanchez grounds the second. And Ken Oberkfell flies to right. St. Louis, a complete no-show. Down 9 in the 9th. I'll get Yuri out of there. 9th inning, you know, we're going to bring in, because it's a story, we're going to bring in Raleigh Fingers. Just to remind you all of the off-season moves we made, we had the Padres sending Raleigh Fingers to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals sending Bruce Sutter to the Padres. Eventually, Fingers Eventually, Gossage will end up in San Diego, where Suter presently is. We've moved our Hall of Fame closers around to accommodate trades. Fingers in 81 was 6-3 with a 1.04 ERA in 78 innings. The reason for this is that the Milwaukee Brewers didn't really need a closer because Peter Ladd is outstanding for them. So they oots-nayed on the acquisition of Fingers. They had a younger option. Leading off in the ninth is Greg Pryor, 63. Pitcher X, Fingers in 18. Makes the play. Dan Meyer, 37, grounds to first. Henrik Monday, 68, pops to short. Dan Petrie, let's go for it. Complete game, yeah, he's given up 3 runs, but that's typical Dan Petrie. Let's get a complete game, though. Tommy Herr flies to center. Hernandez, 45, pops to third and with 2 outs. Lezcano, 47, single 1 to 15. He cannot get it on a 19, and this mess is over with. Thankfully, mercifully, this thing is over. Colorado pounds the Cardinals 12-3. Dan Petrie beats John Martin. That's the good news for Team Colorado. The bad news for Team Colorado is their next game is against Dwight Gooden, the MVP and Cy Young winner in the National League. And they'll still be on the road for that. And they'll have to send Alejandro Pena out there against Doc Gooden. That should be a heck of a game. So stay tuned for that one. The next game up. Welcome back, baseball fans, to the second National League MLB Players Association Tournament Championship game. Team Colorado will now have to face Team New York Queens. Let's give you the box score of the destruction of Team St. Louis. It's so silly to say these names, but we have to. Dan Petrie threw a complete game for Colorado. 9 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. They just batted around in the first, and they were relentless throughout, even had some late foot to compound the issues. 12 runs, 13 hits, 4 walks. Very efficient. Didn't leave a lot of men on base, all things considered. You look at every player scored, except LeMaster. Every player got 1 or 2 hits, but nobody got 3 hits. So it's a very efficient, well-rounded lineup, allegedly against a lefty, and they're supposed to be lousy against lefties. Well, that doesn't look lousy at all. It looks pretty darn good, beating a very good St. Louis team. Today, it's Doc Gooden is on the hill for the opposing team. But before we get to Doc, let's get to the road pitcher. It is Alejandro Pena for Colorado. You know, a righty who kind of gets righties out, not as good as Dwight Gooden, but still very talented. Alejandro Pena was with the Dodgers in 1983, 12-9 with a 2.75 ERA in 177 innings. Very respectable matchup today. Starter 6. Can't go as deep in the games. And the New York Queens team will go to the legend, well, a legend now at least, Dwight Gooden's 1984 card. If you've been following our league, this is really the best story. You know something? There is a mirror here almost. In this season, which has been kind of a washout because of the strike, you know, there was a pitcher in 1976. His name was Mark Fidrich. Completely different style than Gooden. But he was the top story in 1976. Mark Fidrich, in a year that otherwise wasn't particularly good for baseball. The stats were down. Cincinnati embarrassed the Yankees in the World Series. It was a pretty dud of a year. It's not a particularly good Strat-O-Matic card set as well. Short story, the odd number years, the 70s, are the card sets to get. 71, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Isn't that weird? They're all more fun and exciting seasons than 72, 74, 76, and 78. That's just how it's weird. It's almost like there's a correction year to year. But with all that, Doc Gooden, my goodness, folks, 17-9, 260 ERA in 218 innings. Let me flip to his stats before I even start, because this is really worth more in value than the darn game we're about to play. Even if the Mets lose this, oddly enough, it won't tarnish Gooden's stats because these stats don't count. This is an exhibition outside the framework of Major League Baseball. Because the owners have locked the players out. The players are here on their own dime. So we don't even know of how good Dwight's going to even be today. But during the season, Dwight Gooden was 8-1, 78 innings, 50 hits, 10 runs, only 7 earned, 21 walks, 112 strikeouts, and 7 complete games. What is that earned run average? Plus 7 times 9 divided by 78. 0.808. So he gets the MVP and the Cy Young in a league that did not even have a postseason. And this is what we have instead. Today, from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Team Colorado versus Team New York Queens. Let's get started. Leading off is Steve Kemp, who had a day yesterday, folks. Reached his first 4 times. 1-5, and again he reaches with a walk. Who would have thought Steve Kemp would turn into a good leadoff hitter? For this team, he's been excellent. Dwayne Walker, 1-5, flies to center. Gary Renicky, 56, short X. Alfredo Griffin's a 2 shortstop. That's a double play. Gene Richards leads off for Queens, 64, center. Jerry Gin Remy, 1-9, is a base hit. B Stealer won't take the Kennedy arm on, and it's John Bear Stearns. 56, flies to center. With 2 outs, it's the straw. The other straw that stirs the New York drink, Darryl Strawberry. 1-8, let's take a look at this straw. We saw the other straw, number 44 on the Bronx Bugaloos. He's the straw that stirs that drink. Here's the straw that stirs the Queen's drink. Darryl Strawberry, 1983. 26 bombs and a 257 average. Great throwing arm, great base stealer, strikes out a lot, but he's Strawberry. You know, high ceiling player. 1-8 is gone, and it's 2-zip. Gooden and Strawberry making the day, possibly, for the Queens squad. And now Joel Youngblood, 3-6 is a single. Rusty Stahl back in New York, 1-7, double 1 to 13. They are red hot, second and third for Ray Knight. 3-2 pops to third. The teams from New York are playing very well in this thing in Chicago. Rick Monday, 34 Ks. Jason Thompson, 48 Ks. And Don Money, 2-7. You guessed it, 3 up by the same result. 3 strikeouts. Bottom of 2, it's Mookie Wilson, 6-10. Catcher's X. Kennedy, a 3-3. Alfredo Griffin, 59, second. Gene Richards, 56. Flies right. Terry Kennedy, 39. Second. Dan Meyer, 2-9. Pops out. LeMaster, 47. Ks. Bottom of the third. Gin Remy, 2-5. Pops the second. John Stearns, 56. Center. And the straw that stirs the you-know-what. 3-6 is a walk. You want to steal 2 outs? Let's do it. 12 is going to be close. He's going to be out by a whisker. Terry Kennedy, his best throwing year. Didn't always have the greatest throwing arm, but in 1982, he's got a -2 arm. Congratulations, Terry Kennedy. He just threw out the Darryl Strawberry attempting to steal. Top of the 4th, 2-zip. It's Steve Kemp. Taking a lot of pitches in this series. 2-10, single and a 4. Cannot get it. Dwayne Walker, 2-9, and that's the first Colorado hit. It's a base hit. Tying run is Gary Renicky. 59's a strikeout, and with 2 outs, it's Rick Monday. 69 is roller to second base. Bottom of 4, Joel Youngblood, the leading hitter in the National League in 1981. 3-11, he strikes out. Rusty Stahl comes back to New York to hit 317. 1-3, grounds a third. Ray Knight, 310. flies left. We go to the 5th. Doc Gooden, Jason Thompson, 42, come back into the mound. Don Money, 64, a strikeout. And Terry Kennedy, 39, grounds to second base. Doc Gooden, once again, 5 shutout, 1-hit innings. Unfortunately, these stats won't even add to the numbers he presently has. These stats don't count in this exhibition towards the other stats that we compile for our league. You could see his ERA would probably be down into the 0.7 range. What a phenomenal year continuing for the Docster, Doc Gooden, Dwight Gooden here. 2-0 for the Queens team, bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, it'll be Mookie Wilson leading off. 39 pops to second. Alfredo Griffin, 49 is base hit. Gene Richards, 2-4, center. And Jerry Remy, 48, base hit left field. 2 on for John Stearns. 2-6, let's take a look at the catcher of the Queens team. John Stearns, one of his best years, had a lot of nice years. Unfortunately for Stearns, he wouldn't be there when the Mets were good. He was sort of like one of the better players when they were pretty bad, which is a shame. A great catcher, often had speed, could always hit for an average, sometimes had power. You could even play him at first or third base every once in a while. Fun player, liked having him in this timeline. 293 and 82. 2-6, single dot, scores another run. Remy ends up at third. 3-0. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And let's see if Strawberry can make it more than that. Here we go. 2-9, he misses the hit chance and strikes out. But it's 3-zip. Seemingly more than enough for Dwight Gooden. In the 6th, it's Dan Meyer. 2-8 pops to third. Johnny LeMaster, 67, draws the walk in the 6th column. The rare, oddly placed walk on the Gooden card. Could this ignite a rally? Top of the lineup, Steve Kemp. 67 on the left side, though, is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Dwayne Walker. 55, double 1 and 2 off of Gooden single. Twice they've reached on the Gooden card in this inning. That's big news. And if you get to Monday in this inning, that could be a problem. Runners in the corners, this is the guy Doc needs, Gary Renicky. 54 on the right side is Third X. On the left side, it's a triple chance. Third X, you got to get this out of Ray Knight. What is he at third? 3-18 for Ray Knight. He cannot make a play on it. It is a single. And that is not good news at all. It is now 3-1. And now Rick Monday gets to bat with a chance to give his team the lead here. Rick Blue Monday with a monster card of 1981 against Doc Gooden. Big moment here in a 3-1 game. Here's the pitch to Rick Monday. 68 off Gooden's punch-out strikeout. 3-1. Gooden has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts through 6 frames. Pena has been fairly good since the first, where he had a rough time. He's a star of 6. He'll continue. It's Joe Youngblood. 47's a strikeout. Rusty Staub, 69, base hit. We're going to have a pinch runner. It'll be Hubie Babbling Brooks will pinch run here for Rusty Staub. Knight and they'll flip positions as well. Knight and Brooks on the top of the inning. Ray Knight, 55 off Pena, flies to right field. And with 2 outs, it's Mookie Wilson. 5-11, first C. We'll go to the 7th. It'll be Jason Thompson. Just a 2-run game. This has been the most exciting game yet, folks. Jason Thompson, 46 off of Doc is a walk. We're going to have some drama today, folks. Don Money. 2-10. Let's take a look at the Don Money card. If you're wondering, this Colorado team, we build them around the home run. So you can always get back quickly in these games. We saw how efficient they were against St. Louis by scoring their 12 runs on just 13 hits. They put men on and they get them home with a homer. So they don't strand. They're not one of those, put 12 men on and score 3 or 4 times. No, sir. You put men on, they're going to bring them around. Don Money, 210 is gone. Monster year of Don Money, 16 homers and 275 at-bats in 1982 for that Milwaukee team that went to the World Series. We got a 3-3 tie. So think about this. Gooden, through 5 innings, through the beginning of the fall league and through the 5th inning of today, had given up 7 earned runs in about 10 starts. And he's given up 3 earned runs in the last inning and 2 batters. Is it finally starting to add up into the fatigue category for Doc? He's not in danger of breaking point of weakness. That doesn't come until the 8th. But the game is tied. Terry Kennedy, 312 Lomax. Dan Meyer, 56. Single off the Gooden card. We've said off the Gooden card, that walk. That single. Johnny LeMaster, 1-6, is a 6-4-3 double play, and that bails him out of that one. Not a good look for the number 9 hitter hitting one double play. 3-3 tie. Fun game finally. It took us a while, and on our 5th attempt, we finally got a competitive baseball game. Stretch time here in Wrigley. And we are enjoying this wonderful playlist. The year is 1981, the year of the strike, and we've got a playlist representing all sorts of styles of music on the pop charts and the rock charts of this timeline. We got Hey 19, that's Aretha Franklin playing right now. By the Dan. All sorts of stuff on this thing. We got some, we had ABBA yesterday. John Lennon's on here. Saga, U2. We got some Ozzy Osbourne, Elvis Costello, Iron Maiden, man's on here. Psychedelic Furs, Genesis. We got all sorts of crazy. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Motorhead. Now remember me, Motorhead, all right. X from L.A., John and Exene and Company. Black Flag slipping it in. The Rolling Stones. It's all here in 1981, folks, on this wonderful playlist. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. Can the Mets get back off the mat? Can they provide Doc? He needs maybe just one more run. Alejandro Pena, taken off the hook for a defeat. Starter 6, already past his time. Their bullpen, not particularly great. But Pena is, particularly against righties. You got a lefty Griffin, lefty Richards, and a lefty Remy. This is all not playing out well for Pena. We're going to take him off the hook. Once you're on the hook, let's put some rally music on, too, for the home team. Let's get some satisfaction going here with Devo. There we go. Colorado will go to the pen and send Sid Manji out there. Sid was with the Padres in 83. 10-3, 370 earned run average. Comes in the 7th. He will face the number 9 hitter, Alfredo Griffin. 38 flies left. Back up top to Gene Richards. 47's a walk. Ace Steeler, -2 arm catcher. Remy, thinking about hitting and running here? He'll hit and run. Oh, and it's the double play. Yeah, it's not the single. He's not a B hit and runner. If you're a B hit and runner, you get a single on that. The C's, it's a line out, and the runner's plucked off the base. It's a line out the second, 4-3 double play there. Tough break for Jerry Remy and the Mets. We go to the 8th. It'll be Steve Kemp for Colorado, 4-11. Center X, Mookie Wilson's a 1. 25 in center. Makes the play. Dwayne Walker, 2-6 for Dwayne. Let's look at this card. Dwayne Walker was a Cincinnati Red in 84. A 292 average and 10 homers and 200 plate appearances. 2-6, triple 1-9 double. It's a 2-base hit. Now you got Gary Renicky. 6-11, center X again. Mookie Wilson makes the catch. And with 2 outs, it's Rick Monday. Another battle with him. Let's take a look at the Monday card before he swings. His 1981 Blue Monday card, the monster card. 11 homers and 130 at-bats. The home run in Montreal in the 10th inning to send the Dodgers to that World Series. Chance here to advance Colorado in this round if he can get a hit off of Doc Gooden. Power versus power. Monday versus Dwight Gooden. Who's going to back down? Here is the pitch. 55 off of Gooden's double 1-2. It's a base hit, and that scores the run. And Dwight's kind of shocked. Gooden is stunned by the turn of events. Seemed to have this one in control, 3-0, but then it was 3-1, 3-3, and now 4-3. He's still pitching, though. You can see the number of pitches he's thrown late in the year is starting to add up and hurt him. My goodness. It is 4-3. He'll face Jason Thompson, see if he can get out of this inning. 47 is a strikeout. So Gooden gets 2 batters in his point of weakness inning. He's barely hanging in there. But it's a 4-3 game as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Manji will continue and face John Stearns. 1-5, you saw the Stearns card. Doesn't have any power versus lefties, but that's the power roll. It's a double. And he's a good base runner. He's a 13 base runner. Now you have Darryl Strawberry. Sid Manji could certainly enjoy a strikeout here so the runner doesn't go to third with nobody out. And here's the pitch to Strawberry. 57 is exactly that. It's a strikeout. Now you got Youngblood and Brooks who destroy lefties, and that'll be it for Sid Manji. Colorado will go to their closer to see if he can get a 5-out save, and that closer is Ron Reed. Let's take a look at Ron. Ron Reed was a Philly in 82. He was 5-5 with a 2.66 ERA in 98 innings. One of the unique facts that you'd be extremely surprised to find out is, of all the pitchers who are in every year of the timeline that I play from 1969 to 1984, which includes Don Sutton and Tom Seaver and Steve Carlton. It also includes Ron Reed. Yeah, Ron Reed plays all 16 of those years. He had played for Atlanta. He had played for Philadelphia. He had played for the White Sox a little bit. And you would never have known that. It's a very little-known fact. Ron Reed comes in the 8th inning to face Joel Youngblood. Let's take a look at Joel. 1981 Youngblood, magical season, 350 average and 160 plate appearances. That'll give him a batting title when there's a strike involved. You play a full season, he'll probably finish hitting 280, 290, right? But that's all right. This is a big moment for Joel. See if he can capitalize on this fantastic card at a fantastic time. Time run at second. Here's the pitch to Joel Youngblood. 38 is a fly to left. And with 2 outs, it's Hubie babbling Brooks. 310 is a fly ball to left field. We'll go to the 9th. Has Doc earned the right to go to the 9th inning? I think he does. I know he's losing, and he's put 2 men on the 8th, but he is in a unique opportunity here to get a comeback win. He puts 2 guys on, hits the point of weakness, and we will get him out of there. But in the 9th inning, leading off for Colorado with a 4-3 lead, it's Don Money. 48's a strikeout. Terry Kennedy. 1-6. Let's take a look at this Terry Kennedy card. He was with the Padres in 82, 295, 21 home runs. We know he is with the 84 Padres that goes to the World Series. He had a really crappy year that year, though. His best years were 81 and 82. And maybe, yeah, in 83 he was good as well. Not in 84. But you got to love this card. A -2 arm catcher who could play every day. His injuries on 12, which is fantastic news. Plus, he actually hits lefties better than righties, and when he's hitting righties, he's hitting it with a lot more power. It's the perfect catching card. The only thing better would be if he was a -3 or -4 arm catcher. But it's one of the best catcher's cards in the league. 1-6, homer 1 to 11, and when we look up at the board, it is gone! Terry Kennedy! It is a 5-3 game. Normally you'd yank the pitcher, but we're going to go to the point of weakness if he can get that far. Dwight Good now trailing 5-3. It was 5 shutout innings and an incremental damage beyond. Dan Meyer. 66, single 1-2. He lines out. And Johnny LeMaster. 2-4, grounds to short. It is 9 complete innings for Doc Gooden. They're going to bring some defense in the 9th inning. Greg Pryor will take over at second base. Money moves over to first. Bobby Clark goes out into left field. Some pretty good defense, relatively good defense for this team, all things considered. 2-run lead by the 9th. Ron Reed trying to finish this thing. On the Met bench, you got Ron Jackson and George Bjorkman, not the type of guys you'd bring in this situation. It's Ray Knight leading off. 48 for Knight is single 1-4. He catches the single. Single 1-4. Big break. Got the 20% chance to start the bottom of the 9th inning. Mets have a pulse. Now you got Mookie Wilson. Let's take a look at Mookie. Great year out of him in 82. A switch hitter. Oh, 1 in center field. Double-A stealer. 279 average. Probably better here than he would be with the 86 Mets. Here's the pitch to Mookie. 4-5 off of Ron Reed is triple 1-3. Single dot dot. It's a single dot dot. And you got runners in the corners with nobody out. Moreover, Wilson represents the tie run. So you have to hold him at first. You don't want that tie run to steal second base. So he's being held on. Ron Reed is a relief 3. No danger of point of weakness. Probably would have to beat him in a walk-off. They're going to go as long as they can with this guy. Nothing but righties elsewhere in the bullpen, and they're not very good anyway. So you got Alfredo Griffin, Gene Richards, and Jerry Remy, all lefties. You could go pinch hitter here with Griffin, though you potentially could invite a double play if you do that. Ron Reed doesn't go up homers to righties at all. I'm looking at the number 1 bases on Griffin's card. I got to get Ron Jackson a pinch hitting shot here. So we're going to pinch hit Ron Jackson in this moment. I know he's right-handed. Let's take a look at this guy. So Ron Jackson was with California. California traded for Rod Carew in the offseason, so that meant that Ron Jackson needed a new team. The Mets went out and got him. With California in 82, Ron hit .331 on a really good California team that went to and lost the league championship series to Milwaukee, but he hit .331 and could play the corner positions. So Ron Jackson will most likely take over at first. Ray Knight will go back to third, and Hubie Brooks will most likely take over at short if we were to go in extra innings. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Got to stay on the double play if you're Ron Jackson. Don't bone this thing up. Here's the pitch to Ron Jackson. 1-9. He does not bone it up. It is a single dot. And that loads the bases. Because, it was first and second. No, it was first and third. That's right. We just didn't have, we held Wilson on. So that's an RBI single, making it 5-4. We have first and second and nobody out. Top of the lineup. You could bunt Gene Richards here in a 5-4 game because you would have 2 runners in scoring position. With Remy and Stearns, Stearns hits it very well. I would love to bunt in this situation. Because you could even win the game with a RBI single scoring the runner from second. Oh, but Gene Richards is such a good hitter. Jerry Remy hits well too. Richards hits .288. Remy hits .280. Stearns hits .293. I just don't want to sacrifice an out here. If he was an A bunter, I'd do it. He's a B bunter. If I fail, I'd be really ticked off. We're going to swing away with Gene Richards. First and second, nobody out. And frankly, Gene Richards was kind of a free swinger anyway in his days with San Diego. Here's the pitch to Gene Richards. 69 off of Ron Reed is a fly ball to center field, so no advancement of the runners. That could have proved costly. By the way, if you were going to play this revisionist thing, which I hate to do anyway, if I had attempted a bunt, it would not have been successful. It would have been a 10, and he's a B bunter. So it would have been first and second with one out regardless. So that particular dice roll, that's the combination that came up. Hate to do that, though, because, you know, playing the revisionist side of the game is non-productive. So Jerry Remy, first and second, one out. Here's the pitch to Jerry. He also has to stay out of the double play. He doesn't hit into many. 2-9, center B question mark. So that could have been a sac fly had the previous guy executed a successful sacrifice bunt. He did not. And now it's down to John Stearns. We saw the card earlier. He delivered an RBI single here. He's got the tie run at second and the win run at first. With plenty of speed. Mookie can fly and Ron Jackson's okay at first. Here's the pitch to John Stearns. 3-6 is a walk and the bases are loaded. And this is what we want, folks. We got the winning run at second base. We got the bases loaded. You can't even walk Strawberry in this situation. Darryl Strawberry, we saw the card earlier. We don't even need a homer. We need a contact or a walk. We'll take a base load to walk to send this to extra innings. We'll take the homer to walk the thing off. We'll take an error off of pretty average Colorado defense, and we'll take a wild pitch or a pass ball. All those are on the table. There's no left-handed relief option available here. So Darryl Strawberry will bat with the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth. And here is the pitch. 55 off of Reed is second X. Second baseman, not that greatest. It's Greg Pryor. It comes down to the defense of Greg Pryor at second. He's a 3E16, I believe. Let me double check. 3E16 defense at second base. We'll plug in the results. It's a single dot off the 3 defense immediately. You see it right there. The single off of his fielding rating of 3, and the game is tied. Though the other runner had to hold at third. We have a 5-5 tie as the Mets have come back in the bottom of the ninth. And the bases are still loaded. Again, we're taking the long leash with Ron Reed. Again, he's a long reliever. He's a relief 3, starter 5. It's only a second inning of relief. If he can just get this thing into extra innings, that would be, you know, a minor win here, and which otherwise turned out to be a bad ninth inning. Can he keep the team alive in extras? Ron Reed versus Joel Youngblood now. Youngblood, we saw the card earlier. He's just 1 for 4 today. Same situation as Doc Gooden. We'll take a base load, a walk to win the thing here. Here's the pitch to Joel Youngblood. 57's a K. That's why we kept Ron Reed in there. By the way, that's a point of weakness dot for Ron Reed. Then that's why he's not at the point of weakness. He's a relief 3, starter 5. So he gets the strikeout to end the ninth inning. Mets do their damage. We got bonus baseball in what has easily been the best game of the tournament thus far. Colorado and the Queens, a team from the Mountain Time Zone and the New York metro area here. 5-5 extra inning baseball game. The Queens squad is going to go to Jeff Reardon in the 10th, a relief 3. They could have gone lefty here. They had Orozco. You know what? They still can do that. We could change our mind. I think you got Monday coming up this inning. Let's go Orozco. Let's turn things around. This Colorado team's on kind of a burner in the last 4 frames. All their versus right-handed pitching thing is working like crazy off of Doc Gooden. So we're going to go Jesse Orozco. The New York bullpen is amazing. Not only do you have Reardon of a 2.19 ERA, you got Jesse Orozco with a 1.47 ERA. Tom Hausman's is 2.18, and Pete Falcone's is 256. This is a really good pitching staff, and they haven't even got the rest of the pieces here yet. As far as the rotation goes beyond Gooden, they're still missing Ron Darling. They're still missing Sid Fernandez. They're still missing David Cohn, for that matter. They're missing a lot of the pieces that helped this team get to the 86 series. So, Jesse Orosco, let's just focus on him. 13-7. That's a lot of decisions in 1983. 110 innings and a 147 ERA. A relief 3, and they're all relief 3s. Yes, sir. All the bullpen is relief 3s. So you could argue that this team has multiple closers, like the Bronx team has. Orosco in the 10th. We'll have the top of the lineup. Now they brought in Bobby Clark for Kemp. So Dwayne Walker has to bat, as does Monday. So Bobby Clark will lead off in the top of the 10th. We're not going to do the modern rule with a guy at second. We're going to play straight old-time baseball here. Bobby Clark leads off in the top of the 10th. 57 off of Orosco's a K. Dwayne Walker. 2-6 against the lefties a walk. He's a B stealer. Do you want to steal off of John Stearns? Let's do a steal. Let's be risky here. What else do you have to play for? It's a 7. He steals second base. He's at second for Gary Renicky. 68 is a liner to short. And with 2 outs, it's Rick Monday. More homers versus lefties and righties, but less times on base. Matter of fact, all you can do is hit a homer against lefties. You can't do anything else. Here's the pitch to Rick Monday. 55 off Orosco is second X. This is Jerry Remy, a 3 second baseman. 3-14. And he boots the ball. It's an error. Jerry Remy, a 3-14 second baseman. So you got runners in the corners. Tough break there. And now you got Greg Pryor with runners in the corners and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Pryor. 39, let's take a look at the Greg Pryor card. So Pryor was a Kansas City Royal in 82, a 270 average. Hits lefties better than righties, can play all over the infield. 3-9 is a single to left field. That is an unearned run. And that's kind of a shabby way for Colorado to take a lead here in this one. Now you got Don Money with first and second and 2 outs. 1-4, grounds are short. Now here's the bigger moment here. Ron Reed. He's a relief 3, remember, so he's got a clean slate of point of weakness. Do you let him do the 10th inning like you did? Let him do the 9th inning? I say you do. It's Brooks, Knight, and then the lefties. And Reed's better against righties. So Ron Reed will start the bottom of the 10th with a 6-5 lead. Now he's going for a victory instead of a save. Leading off, Hubie Brooks. 3-6, let's take a look at the Hubie Brooks card in 1981. Much like Youngblood, the second best hitter behind Youngblood on that 81 squad, he also would not be around for the Mets' heyday. But what a year he has here. Destroys left-handed pitching. You can put him at third, short, left field. He can steal bases. He's okay against righties. Moreover, you just hit his power roll of 3-6. Homer, 1-6, double the rest. He can't catch the homer. It's a 14, it's a double. And here come the Mets, trying to tie the game back up. Runner second, and it'll be Ray Knight. The only player on the bench for the Mets now is George Bjorkman, a backup catcher to John Stearns. He'll only play if there's an injury, we believe. Ray Knight. 3-10 for Ray Knight is a fly ball to left field. Now you got Mookie Wilson. He had a single to start off the bottom of the 9th. Here's the pitch to Mookie. 5-11 off of Reed. It'll come down to the defense. Second X, Greg Pryor. He made a misplay defensively in the bottom of the 9th, but he's the hero in the top of the 10th. What does he do here? 3-16 second baseman. So ground ball C. The tie run moves over to third base. And it's the number 9 hitter, Ron Jackson. We saw his card earlier. He pinched hit for a Griffin, got an RBI single. Can he tie the game by scoring Hubie Brooks from third base? Here's the pitch to Ron Jackson. 110, Ron Jackson. Oh my goodness, it's a single chance. It's not a good one. It's single 1-7. He cannot convert the single chance in the bottom of the ninth. Oh my goodness. So Hubie Brooks misses homer 1-6, can only double. And then Ron Jackson can't get the single to score Hubie Brooks. It's a single 1-7 line out, and he lines out. And what a disappointing way for the Queens team to exit the tournament. Colorado outlasts the Mets 6-5 in 10 innings. Ron Reed goes 2 2/3, probably won't be available tomorrow, beating Jesse Orozco. Reed gets the win, Orozco gets the loss. This ends any conspiracy, by the way, of the New York teams meeting in the finals. The New York Bronx and the New York Queens, as if it's related to the headquarters of the MLBPA, who organized this thing, being located in New York. So, yeah, that's over with this one New York team eliminated. And again, we get an outlier. A team who played in the first round is going to advance to the National League Finals. It'll be a West Coast scenario playing out in Chicago. It'll be Colorado and San Francisco. That'll be our next game. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back, baseball fans, to the third game and the finals in the National League portion of the MLB Players Association Championship Tourney. We've got Team Colorado defeating two teams that used to play in the old National League East, the St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Mets. Can't say that anymore, though, because we're on strike. And it's just, yeah. Flipping on the TV, looking for the latest news. There's been no update about them sitting down, having a meeting. It's not looking good right now between the owners and players. Because frankly, 8 teams, or probably 7, or 6, or maybe 5 teams by this point, maybe 3 teams are only still here in Chicago. Today it's Team Colorado against Team San Francisco. Team San Francisco deserves its own little deep dive. Let's go take a look at stats for them, as they have had a mercurial season, a mercurial start. They are 21-5. That is one of the hottest. They have won every series they've played all year. And look, and more curiously is how horrible the Padres have been. You know, I guess it's easy to tank or just not show up for games and lose. But it's hard to do the opposite of the tank, which is simply have the opponent fail to show up while you're winning. So they were beating the Astros, the Dodgers, and so forth and so on, these Giants. A deeper dive into the stats for San Fran shows a .276 batting average, a .272 team ERA. They've scored 164 runs. They've given up 84 runs. So they're being very efficient with the amount of hits they get. I guess you have to look at the walks. They've drawn 101 walks as well in 26 games. It's about 4 walks per game in addition to all the hits. You have a incredible year for Darrell Evans, 10 homers and 32 RBIs in 26 games. Probably would have been your MVP had Doc Good not put together a historic pitching performance. Adley Hammaker and Bob Nepper, 2 lefties at the top of this rotation. My goodness. Just a stunning performance, but they're kind of on in the unfortunate scenario of one and done. You lose today to Colorado, and that's all up in smoke. So, winner of this goes to the finals. The American League representative is Team Bronx. So it could be a cross-country or cross-the-mountains championship to be played here in Chicago. If San Francisco wins today, the finals game will be in Wrigley Field as well. If Colorado pulls the upset, then the New York team will host the game at Wrigley Field. For what home field matters very little, I guess. Today's pitchers for the Colorado Rockers, the Colorado Rivers, Larry McWilliams. He was a Pirate, 1983, 15-8 with a 3.25 ERA and 238 innings. Really nice acquisition there. And for the Giants, 4-team San Francisco, Bob Nepper. Bob pitched for the San Francisco team in the late 70s, was traded to Houston. That's the card they have. They have the 81 Houston card. 9-5 with a 2.18 ERA and 157 innings. Hard to imagine that Bob Nepper was the third best starting pitcher on that Houston team that boasted Nolan Ryan, Joe Niekro, and Don Sutton? Are you kidding me? My goodness. Plus Dave Smith and Joe Sambito? My goodness, 81 Astros. Stop hogging it up all the pitching. Anyway, let's get started. Leading off for Team Colorado is Steve Kemp. 6'10", third X. Third baseman, Dale Berra, a 2.11, makes the play. Bobby Clark, 2.5, is homer, 1/18. Maybe this is also part of San Francisco's magic. Your opponents miss homers 1/18, and that's a double. Gary Renicky, 66, is a base hit to right field. You want to run Bobby. He's a 15 runner, but Clark's got a -2 arm. Let's let the thumpers thump. Let's give it a chance. This Colorado team is, the middle lineup's pretty good against lefties. Runners with the corners, Don Money. 58 is a sac fly to left. Pat pays off. Instead of getting thrown out the plate, you take the free pass to score. 2 outs, run scores, and it's Terry Kennedy. 49, second X, second baseman, is Joe Morgan, a 3E10, and he makes the play. All right, bottom of the first, our first blush at this Team San Francisco juggernaut. Leading off, Dan Mann from Gladden. 1-3, grounds a short. Joe Morgan, 57, is a K. And Darrell Evans, 1-5. Let's take a look at the Darrell Evans card. So he leads all of baseball in homers and RBIs. His last year, I think, in San Francisco. Why did you let this guy go? 30 home runs and a 277 average. He'll go to Detroit next year and win the World Series for them. Whoops. A lot of guys left San Francisco to go win World Series elsewhere. Larry Herndon also went to that Tiger team. Gary Matthews went to the playoffs for the Philadelphia and the Cubs. Yeah, it's a real shame. Solo shot, it's 1-0. Now you got the devastating Jack Clark. 45 off Larry Mack, flies to center field. A 1-1 tie. Top of 2. Greg Pryor, one of the heroes of the Game 2 victory over the Queens, New York team. 55, double 1-6 off Nepper is a base hit. Dan Meyer. 2-6 is a base hit to center field. Nepper normally gives up this many hits. Pryor holds second. It's Rick Monday batting 8th versus lefties, cleanup versus righties. 66 off Nepper again is a walk. He is clearly struggling. They're hitting his card frequently. And it's Johnny LeMaster. They're going to play back. Hope for double play. 49. Nope, you walk Johnny LeMaster. A 253 hitter, actually. I thought he was worse than that, but you walked him. Oh, boy. And it's 2-1. Not looking good for Nepper. Steve Kemp. 2-2. This is a 3-6-3 double play plus an injury. So that does score a run. Let's get this all straightened out. It's a double play. It scores a run. Monday ends up at third. LeMaster and Kemp are out, and they're going to need a left fielder when the game resumes. So they might as well just put Rick Monday out there. Or they could put Dwayne Walker out there. Let's put Dwayne Walker out there. Leave Monday at DH. Put him in left field. Sure. 2 outs, runner at third, and it's Bobby Clark. 1/8's a strikeout. Not too bad. Not too bad. Nepper holds it to a 2-run deficit. Hoping this great San Francisco offense will rally against Larry Mack. Number 5 hitter, Gary Gray. 39 rolls to short. The Rooster, Rick Burleson. Nice acquisition there. 6'10", short X. LeMaster's a 2E29 at short, or 3E29. His last year's a 2. He's a 2E29 shortstop. And Dale Berra, Yogi's kid. 1-5 short. Top of the third, it's Gary Renicky. 5'11". Back to the pitcher. He's an E28. And he boots the ball. Oh my goodness. Don Money. 2-4. Fielder's choice. Terry Kennedy, 112. That's a 6-4-3 double play. Bottom of the third, it's Bob Boone. 2-8 for Boone is a roller to short. Rick Miller, 38, is a base hit to center field. Top of the order, Dan the Man from Gladden. 3-5. Let's take a look at this card. The latest and greatest of all the center fielders that the San Francisco organization has produced or brought there, since at least the late 60s or so. Let's get Willie Mays there. Let's put Bobby Bonds there. Let's put Gary Matthews there. Let's put Gary Maddox there. Let's put Larry Herndon there. Let's put Von Joshua there. Let's put this guy there too. Oh yeah, I mentioned something about World Series. Yeah, he goes to Minnesota and wins a World Series there as well. Dan Gladden, 84, hit a cozy 351. And somehow this team, they could not hold on to this guy. 3-5 is single dot. Now you got Joe Morgan, a resurgence, a comeback player of the year candidate in the year of 82 for the San Francisco. 2-6, it's single 1-5. Lines out on an 18. And with 2 outs, big moment for their star, Darrell Evans. 1-5, are you kidding me? Darrell Evans in a league of his own. That's number 12 in 27 games. Darrell Evans, 3-run bomb, and you're seeing the San Francisco Magic. My goodness. Need a 2-out, 3-run homer when you're down a couple? Send in Darrell. My goodness, it is 4-3. Jack Clark, 6'10", short X. And LeMaster, 2E29, but he makes an error there. Gary Gray, 1-6, is a strikeout. All right, can Nepper pitch with the lead here? He's really struggled today. Greg Pryor, 2-7, third. Dan Meyer, 33, pops to second base. Rick Monday, 1-8, is a K. Going back to Darrell Evans for a second, maybe it was the shift over to the diamond to first base that unlocked this additional power like it's 1973, you know, when he hit 41 home runs. Not having to make that long throw over from third to first, you know. Playing first base. Don't ask Scott Hatterberg about that, but yeah, moving over to first base, it wasn't, it really helped Darrell for here in 83, and of course 84 for Detroit. I think 87 for Detroit as well. The Rooster Burleson, 67's a K. Dale Berra, 49, is a walk. He has some speed. He's an A stealer. Kennedy with a -2 arm. We'll let Bob Boone hit away. Bob Boone, 39. Boone is single dot. You got runners on the corners. They'll bring the infield up for Rick Miller. 37 is single 1-6. He cannot get it. Lines out on a 16. Back up top to the dangerous man from Gladden. 47 is a strikeout. Larry Mack gets out of that one. 4-3 into the fifth. Johnny LeMaster, 2-7's a base hit. Leadoff man is now Dwayne Walker, 47 off net versus a K. Bobby Clark, 53, a comebacker to the mound and a fielder's choice. Clark's now at first for Gary Renicky. 58, he flies to left field. 4-3 game. San Francisco over Colorado. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
San Francisco trying to go 22-5. That is very impressive in the Strat-O-Matic kingdom, I tell you. It's almost impossible to do that in any Strat league. I mean, when Detroit started 35-5 in 1984, that's practically impossible to recreate that in Strat-O-Matic, even if you put a Hall of Fame team together, assuming they're competing against other Hall of Fame teams. Bottom of the 5th, Joe Morgan leads off. 52, flies left. Darrell Evans, third trip to the plate. Oh, it's a fly ball to right. There's nobody on base. You know, he didn't need him that time. He took that at bat off. Jack Clark, 112, flies left. All right, 4-3 into 6th. Don Money, 46. He is Money. 1-13, gets the base hit. A lot of hits, not a lot of base runners for Nepper. We just talked about how great that Houston pitching staff was. Nepper's allowed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 men to reach thus far. Terry Kennedy, 1-7. Let's take a look at Terry Kennedy's card of 1982 for the Padres. 21 homers, a 295 average, and his best throwing arm of his career, -2. He hit 300 once or twice, but I would call this the best card of his career. He's got a lot of power versus righties, and he's got a great batting average versus lefties, and he's an everyday catcher with an injury on 12, not 11. So it's one of the best catchers in the sport at this time. 1-7 is a double to left field. Do you run Money with no one out? No, you don't. Second and third. Greg Pryor's an A bunter, so you have to bring the infield up. Here's the pitch to him. 58, there's a sac fly, and we have a tie game. 4-4. Runner at second, 1 out. Dan Oscar Meyer, 2-3 grounds to third. And Monday, 2-6. Let's take a look at the Monday card. The Blue Monday card from a gray, overcast day in Montreal in October of '81 when baseball had resumed, but the visiting Dodgers threw a curtain on that thing, and Rick Monday was responsible with that 10th inning homer to win it. So, of course, he's an everyday player versus righties. And against lefties, it's an all-or-nothing proposition. He hits about 230, but all those hits are dingers in his 7%. Be interesting to see what the splits are on Baseball Reference. Whether he had maybe 3 homers and 6 plate appearances or something silly like that. 2-6 is gone, and that is a 6-4 game. And this is the worst start Nepper has had all year, easily. Johnny LeMaster, 2-7 single. Back up top to Dwayne Walker. Only pitching to him because he's left-handed and not very good. He strikes out. Well, maybe in the next inning you start off with a righty if you rally here in the 6th, bottom half. Leading off for San Francisco, it's Gary Gray. 49's a walk. The Rooster, Rick Burleson. 1-4. Yeah, that is a 6-4-3 double play. And with 2 outs, it's Dale Berra. 1-7 is a strikeout. We go to the 7th inning. Gosh, Nepper's card is so good. It's like, why take out? He's given up 6 runs. Yeah, I get it. All right, we'll take Nepper out. I could go to, definitely going to be a righty. Which one? Minton? Yeah, it's a 1-game, 1 and you're done. We're going to go Greg Minton. Trotting out of San Francisco's pen a little early today. Minton and Lavelle sort of split closer duty. Greg Minton was 10-4 with a $1.83 ERA in 1982 and 123 innings. Wants to keep this team within a couple runs here. He's brought in early in the 7th inning. Bobby Clark will have to stay in the game. Doesn't hit righties very well, but we had the injury to Kemp, so you have to have him finish the game in center. Here's the pitch to Bobby Clark. 56 flies left. Gary Renicky, 59, flies to center. And Don Money, 6'10", third X, This is Dale Bear is also good defensively. He's a 2E11. Makes the play. 6-4 visitors. Stretch time here in the land of the MLB Players Association. Yeah. 1981. Yeah, okay, whatever. This is the playlist we've been enjoying throughout. Hits of 1981 off of Billboard, AOR radio, everything is sort of thrown in here. It's about 180 songs, about 12-hour mix. Give It To Me, Baby, Rick James, presently. That's pretty good rally music. Let's give this some juice. To the home team, at least today. Bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the order for San Francisco. Leading off, it'll be Bob Boone. 56 off of Mac is second X. Second baseman, Greg Pryor's a 3E16. It's a base hit, though. Number 9 hitter, Rick Miller. 68 off Larry Mack is a strikeout. Back up top to the man from Gladden. 4-4 is third X. Third baseman is Dan Meyer. Dan's a 4E18 at third. And it's an error. 2 on for Joe Morgan. Let's take a look at his card. Arguably the best card since he left Cincinnati in the late 70s. He'd gone to Houston, helped them win their division in 80. Then he struggled. Then he shows up at San Francisco, has his best stats, 289 with 14 homers and 85 walks. Then he ends up the following year on the Phillies in a World Series. So Joe Morgan travels around, goes to the playoffs. And here he is back at San Francisco on a 21-5 team. 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Joe. 67 is a K, and with 2 outs, can he do it again? He's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. Darrell Evans down 1-0 in the first. He hit a homer. Down 3-1 in the third. He hit a 3-run homer. He's down 2 again here in the 7th. Trying to do his own Roy Hobbs impersonation. Here's the pitch to Darrell Evans. 1-6. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a 1-7 shot, and he missed it. Are you kidding me? Darrell Evans rolls 1-6 against the lefty and Larry Mack. It's homer 1-7 against the righty. It's automatic. Homer 1-7, and it just, the wind blows in on the warning track in the ivy in right field. Gary Renicky pulls it out of the ivy for a final out here in the 7th. Oh my goodness. So close to 3 homers and 7 RBI. So close. Wow. Well, this has clearly been the most exciting game. Well, the Mets game was pretty good. What a game. What a bad break there for San Francisco in a season where they've pretty much had caught every break. We go to the 8th inning of a 6-4 affair. It'll be Terry Kennedy. He had a big double in the 6th inning. 55 off Minton is a K. Greg Pryor. 2 grounds to short. And Dan Meyer. 45 double 1-10 is a single. And now you got Monday. Do you go Lavelle the rest of the way? You don't want this guy swinging again against a righty. I mean, at least against a lefty. I know he's got the extra homers, but the batting average is about 100 points lower. So we'll pull Minton after 5/3. Gary Lavelle will come on in the 8th. He's the Robin to Batman with Minton, or Minton's Robin to his Batman, or something like that. Gary Lavelle, 82 as well. Another 10-game winner. These dudes were 20 and 11 in 200 innings with an ERA around 250. That is pretty spectacular tandem there. Yeah, 10-7, 267 ERA in 105 innings, a relief 3. Gary Lavelle's watching the wheels here. In the 8th, it's Rick Monday. Runner at first and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 4-11, right X. Your right fielder is Jack Clark. He's a 2-3, and he makes the grab. Bottom of the 8th, still down a couple. Larry Mack, tempting fate. Starter 7, but the error in the single does not compute to a point of weakness moment, so he'll continue against the beef of this order. Bullpen isn't particularly great. By the way, Ron Reed is unavailable for this because he went 2 2/3 innings yesterday. So Manji and Tobik are available to close this thing out. That's going to be a little difficult task. Colorado is not a team that generally values pitching that much. They go after all the thumpers when they draft their teams. Closing out games is mostly an afterthought. They don't want to be in any close ones. They want to beat you like 8-4. And they're almost there today doing that right now. So Jack Clark leads off in the bottom of the 8th. 48 off of Larry Mack is a walk. Now you got Gary Gray. 69 flies to center. The Rooster, Rick Burleson. 1-9, and oh, Rick is having a horrible day, folks. That is double play number 2. A 5-4-3 double play for the Rooster, former Red Sox California Angel player. 6-4 in the 9th. It'll be LeMaster. 110, flies left. Dwayne Walker in the leadoff spot. 3-7's a K. And with 2 outs, it's Bobby Clark. 68 is a single. Gary Renicky trying to get this final out if they can. 4-12, a fly ball to left. 6-4, bottom of the 9th. I think Larry Mack is the best pitching option this team has. He's probably better than Petrie. Probably not as good as Alejandro Pena. Better than Thurman. Lynch, Tobik, Manji, just journeyman relievers, and Ron Reed's a pretty good closer. But this looks like you're going to have to beat Larry Mack. You're going to have to get his point of weakness to get him out of this game. He's going for the complete game. Bottom of the 9th, bottom of the lineup for San Francisco. We haven't seen this all year, really. Losing a series by simply showing up here and losing a game. So leading off in the bottom of the 9th, on the bench you have Bobby Mercer, who can't hit lefties at all. Andy Van Slyke, a left-handed batter, who's okay barely against lefties. And Ernie Witt, who can't hit lefties either. So they're kind of stranded on an island here as Larry Mack toes the slab. We're going to need a hero moment out of Dale Berra, Bob Boone, and Rick Miller. Oof. Here's the pitch to Dale Berra. 47 off Larry Mack is a K. Now you got Bob Boone. He has reached twice today with singles. 2-9 is a pop to second. And with 2 outs, it's all up to Rick Miller. Let's take a look at him. A guy, sort of anonymous player. He started in Boston, ended up with California. I think he returned to Boston. Always a great defensive outfielder, good contact hitter. He just didn't produce enough homers or high enough average to make him an everyday player. But in 81, he was pretty good. He hit .291. You know, a great center fielder. He's a 2.E5 in center. So he's always in the league. You know, he's never has to worry about finding a spot in the game. Here's the pitch to Rick Miller. 43 off Larry Mack is left X. It's all or nothing here for the replacement left fielder, Dwayne Walker. He's a 2E16. He's either going to catch it or it's a 2-base error here. 2E16. And he catches the ball to end the game. And there it is. Colorado will go to the finals representing the National League. Only fitting. The wildest wild card, if you want to call it, the number 4, the worst seed. Team Colorado will face the Bronx in the championship of the Major League Baseball Players Association tourney. And you know the owners are happy to see that. They want to see this thing be completely unappealing to the TV viewers tuned in. And San Francisco and New York would have been a heck of a finals, and it's not going to happen. It's Colorado. Larry Mack gets a complete game victory. And Bob Nepper, his worst start of the year at the worst time, takes the defeat. So tomorrow we will have the championship of the whole MLB tourney. It'll be Colorado at the Bronx in Comiskey Park. And then after the game, we'll move forward and show you how we're going to proceed post-strike and postseason. We'll have all that in the final day before Super Bowl. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.